A new frontier. The neon-drenched streets of Neo-Tokyo blurred past Jake Wilson's vision as he stumbled out of yet another dingy bar. The once celebrated space pilot now spent his nights drowning sorrows in synthetic sake, trying to forget the accident that had grounded him permanently. Earth had become a prison, its gravity a constant reminder of the stars he could no longer reach. As Jake fumbled with his apartment's biometric lock, a sudden pulse from his neglected comm implant made him wince. A message icon flashed in his augmented vision. "Mr. Wilson, an opportunity awaits that may rekindle your passion for the cosmos. Your skills are needed. Your destiny lies beyond the stars. If interested, speak the word Starfall aloud." Jake snorted, assuming it was another scam targeting washed-up pilots. But something in the phrasing tugged at him, awakening a long-dormant sense of adventure. With nothing left to lose, he whispered, "Starfall." The world around him shimmered and dissolved. Jake found himself materializing on a gleaming transport ship, surrounded by beings that defied description. Crystalline entities floated alongside reptilian humanoids and creatures of pure energy. At the center stood a tall, graceful figure with iridescent skin and eyes like swirling galaxies. "Welcome, Jake Wilson of Earth," the being's voice resonated in his mind. "I am Zinra, emissary of the Astari Collective. You have been chosen for a task of utmost importance to the future of the galaxy." Jake's mind reeled, struggling to process the sudden shift in reality. "Chosen? For what? And how do you know who I am?" Zinra's lips curved in what might have been a smile. "We have been observing humanity for centuries, awaiting the right moment and the right individual to bridge our worlds. You, Jake Wilson, possess a unique combination of skills, experiences, and potential." A holographic display materialized, showing a breathtaking alien world of crystal spires and impossibly delicate architecture. At its heart stood a palace that seemed to be woven from starlight itself. "This is Astraea, capital of the Astari Collective," Zinra explained. "Our society has achieved technological and spiritual harmony beyond human imagination. Yet we face a crisis that threatens not only our existence, but the fabric of the galaxy itself." Jake's curiosity battled with his skepticism. "And you think a washed-up human pilot is the answer to your problems?" Zinra's gaze penetrated deep into Jake's soul. "We believe you are the key to unlocking a power that has lain dormant for millennia. Our Queen Zara requires a consort, one who can awaken ancient abilities within her and forge a connection between our peoples." Jake barked out a laugh. "You've got to be kidding me. An alien queen needs a human. What? Boyfriend?" "The bond goes far deeper than mere physical attraction," Zinra replied, unperturbed. "It is a melding of minds, spirits, and cosmic energies. The Queen's choice of consort will shape the destiny of countless civilizations." Before Jake could formulate a response, the ship shuddered. Through the viewscreen, he saw they were approaching a swirling portal of impossible colors. "The decision to proceed lies with you, Jake Wilson," Zinra said solemnly. "Step through the portal, and you embark on a journey beyond your wildest dreams. Refuse, and you will be returned to Earth with no memory of this encounter. The choice is yours." Jake's heart raced. The rational part of his mind screamed that this was insanity, likely a hallucination brought on by too much booze and despair. But a long-buried spark had ignited within him, a yearning for purpose, for adventure, for a chance to touch the stars once more. With a deep breath, Jake stepped toward the shimmering portal. "Well," he said with a crooked grin, "beats another night at the bar." As Jake crossed the threshold, his body tingled with otherworldly energies. The transport ship and its alien crew faded from view, replaced by a whirlwind of cosmic forces beyond human comprehension. Jake felt his consciousness expanding, touching the very fabric of space-time itself. Vivid images flashed through his mind. Ancient battles between forces of light and darkness, the birth and death of galaxies, and a haunting pair of eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of the universe. Jake knew instinctively they belonged to Queen Zara, the being he was destined to meet. The journey through the portal lasted both an eternity and a mere instant. Jake materialized in a vast chamber of living crystal, its walls pulsing with soft bioluminescence. He stumbled, his human senses overwhelmed by the alien beauty surrounding him. A melodic voice echoed through the chamber. "Rise, Jake Wilson of Earth. Your journey has only just begun." Jake looked up to see a being of breathtaking beauty gliding towards him. Queen Zara of the Astari stood nearly 7 feet tall, her form both ethereal and powerful. Her skin shimmered with patterns that mimicked the swirling of galaxies, and her eyes. Jake found himself lost in their depths, glimpsing the vastness of the cosmos itself. "Welcome to Astraea," Zara said, her voice carrying an underlying current of power that made Jake's hair stand on end. "I have awaited your arrival for longer than you can imagine." Jake struggled to find his voice. "Your Majesty, I'm not sure I understand why I'm here. There must be some mistake. I'm just a washed-up pilot, not some chosen one." Zara's lips curved in an enigmatic smile. "The tapestry of fate is woven with threads invisible to mortal eyes. Jake Wilson, your path has led you here for reasons that will become clear in time." She gestured, and the crystal walls shimmered, revealing a breathtaking view of the Astrian capital. Impossibly tall spires reached into the purple-hued sky, connected by gossamer bridges as seen to defy physics. Flying creatures of every shape and color soared between the buildings, while vehicles that looked like liquid metals streaked along invisible pathways. "Our civilization has achieved wonders beyond human imagination," Zara explained. "We have harnessed the power of stars, bent the fabric of space-time to our will, and unlocked the secrets of consciousness itself. Yet, for all our advancement, we face a threat that could unravel the very foundations of our society, and the galaxy as a whole." Jake's mind raced, trying to process the implications. What kind of threat could possibly challenge beings as advanced as you? Zara's expression grew somber. "There are forces in this universe older and more terrible than you can comprehend. They slumber in the spaces between realities, waiting for the right moment to break through and consume all of creation. Our ancestors once possessed the power to keep these entities at bay, but that knowledge has been lost to time." She fixed Jake with an intense gaze. "We believe that you, a human, may hold the key to unlocking those ancient abilities within me. The joining of our minds and spirits could reawaken powers that have lain dormant for eons." Jake's skepticism battled with a growing sense of wonder and purpose. "But why me? Surely there are more qualified candidates, even among your own people." "The prophecies speak of one from a young race, one whose potential has yet to be fully realized," Zara replied. "Humanity stands at a crossroads, Jake. Your species possesses a unique spark, a combination of ingenuity, adaptability, and an indomitable spirit. You, in particular, embody these qualities in a way that resonates with the cosmic forces we seek to harness." Before Jake could respond, alarms blared throughout the chamber. The crystal walls flickered, showing scenes of chaos erupting across the city. Strange, shadowy creatures were materializing in the streets, their very presence seeming to drain the life and color from their surroundings. Zara's face hardened with resolve. "They grow bolder. The barriers between realities weaken faster than we anticipated." She turned to Jake, her eyes blazing with an inner fire. "I cannot force this destiny upon you, Jake Wilson, but know that if you choose to stand with us, you will face challenges beyond anything you have ever imagined. The fate of not just our worlds, but all of creation may rest in your hands." Jake's heart pounded in his chest. Every rational thought told him to run, to beg to be sent back to the relative safety of Earth. But as he looked into Zara's eyes, he felt something awaken within him, a sense of purpose, of belonging that he had never known before. With a deep breath, Jake straightened his posture and met the Astari Queen's gaze. "I don't know if I'm the hero you're looking for," he said, a hint of his old cockiness creeping into his voice. "But I'll be damned if I'm going to stand by and watch the universe fall apart. Whatever you need, Your Majesty, I'm in." A smile of genuine warmth spread across Zora's face. "Then let us face this darkness together, Jake Wilson of Earth. Your training begins now." As if on cue, the chamber shuddered with the force of an explosion somewhere in the city. The shadows were encroaching, and time was running out. Jake's new life as a potential consort to an alien queen, and perhaps the savior of the galaxy, had begun in earnest. Little did he know that the greatest challenges, both to his body and his heart, still lay ahead. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see if this unlikely pair could rewrite the very fate of the cosmos. Cosmic trials and stellar bonds. The crystalline spires of Astrea trembled as another wave of shadowy entities materialized in the streets below. Jake Wilson, former Earth pilot turned potential alien consort, stood beside Queen Zora on a shimmering balcony overlooking the chaos. His hands gripped the railing, knuckles white with tension. "I hope you're a fast learner, Jake," Zora said, her voice calm despite the urgency of the situation. "Your first trial begins now." Before Jake could respond, Zora placed a delicate hand on his forehead. A surge of energy coursed through him, and suddenly his mind was awash with alien knowledge. He gasped as information about Astrian technology, culture, and cosmic forces flooded his consciousness. "Whoa," Jake breathed, blinking rapidly. "That's one hell of a study method." Zora's lips quirked in a small smile, a necessary shortcut. "Now, focus on the creatures below. What do you see?" Jake narrowed his eyes, drawing on his newly acquired knowledge. The shadows weren't just invaders, they were rifts in reality itself, leaking entropy and chaos into the ordered Astrian world. "They're unraveling things," Jake said, struggling to articulate the alien concepts. "Not just physical objects, but the very laws of physics." "Precisely," Zora nodded. "And to combat them, we must weave reality back together. Watch closely." The Queen raised her hands, and streams of iridescent energy flowed from her fingertips. The light coalesced into intricate patterns, forming a lattice that pushed back against the encroaching darkness. Jake marveled at the display, understanding on a fundamental level that Zora was reinforcing the very fabric of spacetime. "Your turn," Zora said, turning to Jake with an expectant look. Jake's eyes widened. "You can't be serious. I just learned about this stuff 5 minutes ago." "The knowledge is within you," Zora insisted. "Trust your instincts. Remember, Jake, you possess qualities unique to humanity that may be key to our survival." Taking a deep breath, Jake closed his eyes and reached out with his mind. He felt the swirling energies around him, the delicate balance of forces that held reality together. With a grunt of effort, he extended his hands, willing the cosmic energies to obey. At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, tendrils of light began to form around Jake's fingers. They were erratic, nowhere near as controlled as Zora's, but they were there. "Holy shit," Jake muttered, staring at his hands in disbelief. "Impressive," Zora said, genuine surprise in her voice. "But can you direct it?" Jake furrowed his brow in concentration. The streams of energy wobbled, then shot towards a cluster of shadow creatures below. As the light touched them, the entities screeched and dissipated. A cheer went up from the Astrian citizens who had witnessed the display. Jake grinned, exhilarated by his success. "Not bad for a rookie, huh?" he quipped. Zora's expression remained serious. "A promising start, but this is only the beginning. The true test lies ahead." Over the next few days, Jake's training intensified. He learned to manipulate cosmic energies with increasing precision, to perceive the underlying structures of reality, and to commune with the living crystal technology of Astrea. Each lesson pushed him to his mental and physical limits. But it wasn't all metaphysical training. Jake also had to navigate the complex social and political landscape of the Astrian court. Many of the alien nobles viewed him with suspicion or outright hostility. They couldn't fathom why their queen had chosen a primitive human as a potential consort. "This is absurd," sneered Lord Vextor, a being composed of swirling plasma contained within an ornate exoskeleton. How can we entrust the future of our civilization to this ape? Jake bit back a retort, remembering Zora's lessons on diplomacy. I may not have millennia of evolution behind me, he said carefully, but humans have something you might find valuable: adaptability. We thrive on challenge and change. Pretty words, Vextor scoffed, but can you back them up? A hush fell over the gathered courtiers as Queen Zora entered the chamber. Her eyes met Jake's, and he felt a now familiar flutter in his chest. Despite the stakes and the pressure, he was undeniably drawn to her. The time has come, Zora announced. The trial of cosmic harmonics will begin at dawn. All potential consorts must prove their worth. Jake's stomach dropped. He had known this was coming, but he didn't feel nearly prepared enough. The trial of cosmic harmonics was an ancient Astrian ritual designed to test a candidate's ability to resonate with the fundamental forces of the universe and with the Queen herself. That night, as Jake tossed and turned in his quarters, a soft knock came at his door. He opened it to find Zora standing there, looking uncharacteristically vulnerable. "Your Majesty," Jake said, surprised. "Is everything all right?" Zora entered, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with what Jake had learned to recognize as anxiety. "I wanted to see how you were faring," she said softly. "The trial ahead, it will not be easy." Jake ran a hand through his hair. "Yeah, I got that impression. Any last-minute advice?" Zora stepped closer, her otherworldly eyes searching his face. "Jake, there's something you need to understand. This isn't just about proving your worth to the court or unlocking ancient powers. The trial of cosmic harmonics forges a deep, irrevocable bond between participants. If we succeed, we'll be connected on a fundamental level," Jake finished, the implications dawning on him. "Our minds, our souls, everything." Zora nodded. "It is not a decision to be made lightly. If you wish to return to Earth, to the life you knew, now is the time." Jake was silent for a long moment, weighing the enormity of the choice before him. He thought of his old life, the loneliness, the aimlessness, the feeling that he was meant for something more. Then he looked at Zora, this impossible being who had quite literally opened up the universe to him. "I'm not going anywhere," he said firmly, taking Zora's hand in his. "Whatever happens tomorrow, we face it together." A smile of relief and something deeper spread across Zora's face. She leaned in, pressing her forehead to Jake's in an intimate Astrian gesture. Energy crackled between them, and for a moment, Jake swore he could sense the vast depths of Zora's mind, her hopes, her fears, the weight of responsibility she carried. As dawn broke, Jake stood with the other consort candidates in a vast amphitheater carved from a single massive crystal. The air thrummed with power, and the very ground seemed to pulse beneath their feet. Queen Zora appeared on a raised dais, resplendent in robes that shimmered with the light of 1,000 stars. "Let the trial of cosmic harmonics commence," she intoned. "May the universe itself judge who is worthy." The crystal beneath them began to glow, and Jake felt himself being lifted into the air. Around him, the other candidates, beings of energy, of living metal, of dimensions he could barely comprehend, also rose. A sound unlike anything Jake had ever heard filled the air. It was music and mathematics, the song of galaxies and the whisper of quantum particles. Each candidate began to resonate with the cosmic symphony in their own way. Jake closed his eyes, reaching out with his senses as he had been taught. He felt the vibrations of reality itself, the delicate interplay of forces that held the universe together. But there was something else, something uniquely human that he brought to this cosmic dance. As the music swelled to a crescendo, Jake thought of Earth, of the indomitable human spirit that had driven his species to explore, to innovate, to dream of the stars. He thought of the joy and pain, the love and loss, the entire spectrum of human experience. And he wove it all into the cosmic harmony. The amphitheater erupted in gasps of awe. Jake opened his eyes to see himself surrounded by a dazzling display of energy, far outshining the other candidates. But his gaze was drawn to Zora, who stared at him with an expression of wonder and dawning realization. Their eyes met, And in that moment, something clicked into place. The universe itself seemed to hold its breath as human and Australian, separated by vast gulfs of evolution and culture, found a point of perfect resonance. A blinding flash filled the amphitheater. When it faded, Jake and Zara stood alone on the dais, their hands clasped, surrounded by a nimbus of power that pulsed in time with their shared heartbeat. The choice is made, Zara's voice rang out, filled with emotion and authority. Jake Wilson of Earth shall be my consort, and together we shall face the darkness that threatens all of creation. As the assembled Australians bowed, Jake met Zara's gaze. The connection between them hummed with potential, with promise, with a love that transcended the boundaries of species and space. The real challenge was just beginning, but for the first time since he had arrived on this alien world, Jake felt truly ready to face it. Whatever the universe had in store, they would meet it together, the human pilot and the star-born queen, united in a bond that would reshape the very fabric of reality. Celestial conspiracies and quantum quests. The newly forged bond between Jake Wilson and Queen Zara sent ripples through the fabric of space-time itself. As they stood hand in hand on the crystal dais, the air around them shimmered with possibilities, timelines branching and converging in a cosmic dance visible only to the most sensitive Austrian seers. "Well," Jake said with a lopsided grin, "I guess this makes me the first human member of an alien royal family. Think we'll make the tabloids back on Earth." Zara's laughter was like the chiming of distant stars. "Your humor in the face of destiny is refreshingly human, my love. But we have little time to celebrate. The shadow of chaos grows stronger with each passing moment." As if summoned by her words, alarms blared throughout the amphitheater. Holographic displays materialized, showing a massive distortion in the space surrounding Australia. It writhed and pulsed, tendrils of void reaching out to caress the planet's shimmering force field. "The entropy vortex," Zara breathed, her grip on Jake's hand tightening. "It's never manifested so boldly before." Jake felt a chill run down his spine as he gazed at the swirling maelstrom of unreality. "I'm guessing that's not something we can just shoot with a really big laser, huh?" Before Zara could respond, a commotion erupted at the edge of the gathered crowd. Lord Vextor, the plasma being who had been so disdainful of Jake's presence, pushed his way forward. His exoskeleton crackled with barely contained energy. "This is madness," Vextor bellowed, pointing an accusing finger at Jake. "You wouldn't trust our fate to this primitive creature. The prophecies speak of a union of stars, not a coupling with cosmic vermin." Murmurs of agreement rippled through some sections of the crowd. Jake tensed, ready for a fight, but Zara's calm voice cut through the rising tension. "The will of the universe has been made clear, Lord Vextor," she said, her tone leaving no room for argument. "The trial of cosmic harmonics has chosen Jake as my consort. Would you defy the very forces that shape our reality?" Vextor's form flickered, his plasma roiling with barely contained rage. "I would defy anything that threatens the purity of our people. This human will be our downfall." With a primal scream, Vextor launched himself at Jake, his exoskeleton transforming into a mass of razor-sharp tendrils. Time seemed to slow as Jake's newfound cosmic awareness kicked in. He could see the patterns of energy flowing through Vextor, the weak points in his attack. Acting on pure instinct, Jake raised his hand. A burst of iridescent energy exploded from his palm, catching Vextor in mid-leap and sending him crashing into a nearby crystal column. The impact shattered the noble's exoskeleton, leaving him a formless blob of plasma that quickly dissipated into the air. A hush fell over the amphitheater. Jake stared at his hand in disbelief, then looked to Zara with wide eyes. I didn't mean to." But Zara's attention was fixed on the spot where Vextor had vanished. Her eyes narrowed, and she waved her hand through the air where the plasma being had been. "This is not possible," she muttered. "What's not possible?" Jake asked, still shaken by what he had done. "Lord Vextor was not truly here," Zara explained, her voice tight with concern. "What you struck was a quantum projection, an incredibly sophisticated one. The real Vector is elsewhere. Realization dawned on Jake. A spy. But why would one of your own nobles? Because not all who wear the mantle of nobility truly have Astrea's best interests at heart, came a new voice. A being composed of interlocking geometric shapes floated forward, introducing itself as Skylith, Zora's spymaster. Silith's fractal form pulsed with urgency. My queen, the attack on Jake was a distraction. Our long-range sensors have detected a massive surge of tachyon particles in the Obsidian Nebula. It appears a hidden outpost has been activated, one bearing the energy signature of the Voidborn. Jake's mind reeled as he processed the alien terms, drawing on the knowledge Zara had implanted in his mind. The Voidborn, creatures of pure entropy, antithetical to all life in the universe. Ancient enemies of the Astraeans, long thought defeated. They're working with the shadow creatures, Jake said, the pieces clicking into place. And Vector, he's been helping them all along. Zora's face was grim as she nodded. The conspiracy runs deeper than we imagined. The Voidborn seek to use the entropy vortex to unmake reality itself, reshaping it in their own chaotic image. Well, Jake said, squaring his shoulders, I didn't sign up for this cosmic consort gig just to watch the universe unravel. What's our next move, Your Majesty? A small smile tugged at Zara's lips, pride shining in her star-filled eyes. We take the fight to them, my love. But first, we must unlock the true potential of our bond. She turned to address the gathered Astraeans, her voice ringing with authority. Prepare the Starforge. We depart for the heart of infinity within the hour. As the crowd dispersed in a flurry of activity, Jake raised an eyebrow. The heart of infinity sounds cozy. Vacation spot. Zara's expression was both excited and apprehensive. It is the birthplace of our people, Jake. A place where the boundaries between thought and reality blur, where the very essence of creation flows like a river. It is there that we will complete our union and awaken powers not seen in this galaxy for eons. Jake whistled low. No pressure or anything. And here I thought meeting your parents would be the scariest part of this relationship. Zara laughed, a sound like tinkling crystals that never failed to send a shiver down Jake's spine. Oh, Jake, if we survive this, meeting my parents will seem like a leisurely cruise through the celestial cascades. As they made their way to the Starforge, a massive ship that seemed to be equal parts organic crystal and hyper-advanced technology, Jake couldn't help but marvel at the turn his life had taken. A month ago, he had been drowning his sorrows in Neo-Tokyo dive bars. Now he was embarking on a quest to save the very fabric of reality itself. The Starforge hummed to life around them, its crystal corridors pulsing with energy. Through viewports that seemed to defy conventional physics, Jake watched as Astrea receded, becoming a glimmering jewel against the backdrop of space. You know, he said, turning to Zara with a crooked smile, most couples just go out to dinner for their first date. But I guess saving the universe works too. Zara's hand found his, their fingers intertwining as naturally as if they had been designed for each other. My dear Jake, she said, her eyes twinkling with starlight, I promise you this, our journey together will be anything but ordinary. As the Starforge accelerated to impossible speeds, reality itself seeming to bend around them, Jake felt a surge of excitement and terror. The fate of everything hung in the balance, dependent on the bond between a washed-up human pilot and an alien queen. It was, Jake thought with a mixture of awe and amusement, going to make one hell of a story, assuming there was still a universe left to tell it in when all was said and done. Quantum entanglement and cosmic crescendo. The Starforge hurtled through the cosmos at speeds that defied human comprehension. Jake Wilson stood at a viewport, watching as entire galaxies blurred into streaks of light. Beside him, Queen Zora's bioluminescent patterns pulsed in sync with the ship's quantum drive. So, Jake said, breaking the comfortable silence, any chance you can give me a crash course on this heart of infinity place? I'd hate to commit some sort of cosmic faux pas when we arrive. Zora's lips curved in a smile that made Jake's own heart skip a beat. The heart of infinity defies simple explanation, my love. It is a nexus of pure creation, where the boundaries between thought and reality cease to exist. Imagine a place where every dream, every possibility, exists simultaneously. Jake whistled low. Sounds like one hell of a trip. Do we need to pack our interdimensional swimsuits? Before Zora could respond, a tremor ran through the ship. Alarms blared as the crystal corridors pulsed an urgent red. "We're under attack," shouted Xylith, the fractal spymaster, as they materialized beside them. "Voidborn vessels have somehow tracked us through quantum space." The viewport shifted, revealing a swarm of ships that seemed to absorb the very light around them. They moved in impossible patterns, appearing and disappearing, as if facing in and out of reality itself. "How is this possible?" Zara demanded, her voice tight with concern. "The Starforge's quantum wake should be untraceable." Jake's mind raced, drawing on both his piloting experience and the alien knowledge now nestled in his brain. "Unless," he muttered, an idea forming. "Unless they're not following our wake, they're following us." He turned to Zara, excitement and dread warring in his voice. "Our bond, the quantum entanglement between us. What if the Voidborn found a way to latch onto that signature?" Zara's eyes widened in realization. Of course, the trial of cosmic harmonics created a unique energy pattern. If Vexator provided them with that data, then we've basically been broadcasting our location across the universe, Jake finished grimly. The ship rocked again as Voidborn weapons fire splashed against its quantum shields. Jake could feel the drain on the Starforge's systems through his connection to Zara and the living crystal of the vessel. "We need to buy some time," Jake said, his old pilot's instincts kicking in. "Any chance this ship has some fancy alien weapons we can use to even the odds?" Zara nodded, her expression determined. "The Starforge is more than just a vessel, Jake. It is an extension of Astrian will, and with our combined power." She didn't need to finish the thought. Jake could feel it too, the ship responding to their shared consciousness, ready to be shaped by their united will. "All right then," Jake grinned, cracking his knuckles. "Let's show these Voidborn creeps what happens when you mess with the power couple of the galaxy." Jake and Zara moved in perfect synchronization, their minds merging with the ship's crystal matrix. The Starforge began to transform, its hull sprouting crystalline cannons and quantum torpedo launchers. Wings of pure energy unfurled, allowing for maneuvers that laughed in the face of physics. What followed was a battle that would have made the greatest starfighter pilots in human history weep with envy. Jake's piloting skills, honed in countless simulations and real-world dogfights, merged with Zora's millennia of cosmic knowledge. The Starforge danced through the void, its weapons lashing out with pinpoint precision. Voidborn ships exploded in silent bursts of anti-light, their impossible geometries unraveling as they were erased from existence. But for every enemy they destroyed, two more seemed to take its place. "We can't keep this up forever," Jake panted, sweat beading on his brow from the mental exertion. "We need to make a break for the heart of infinity." Zara nodded, her own form shimmering with the strain of their shared battle meld. "Agreed, but the journey is treacherous, and in our weakened state." "Hey," Jake said, flashing her a cocky grin. "Who said anything about us being weakened? I'm just getting warmed up." With a shared thought, they directed the Starforge into a complex series of maneuvers. The ship corkscrewed through the enemy formation, quantum torpedoes firing in a dizzying pattern that created a momentary gap in the Voidborn blockade. "Now," Jake and Zara shouted in unison. The Starforge's engines flared with impossible brightness as they made the jump to quantum space. The very fabric of reality seemed to stretch and twist around them as they plunged towards their destination. But something was wrong. The quantum corridor, usually a smooth tunnel of probability waves, bucked and heaved like a stormy sea. Jake felt as if his very atoms were being pulled apart and reassembled with each passing moment. "The Voidborn," Zara gasped, her form flickering as she struggled to maintain cohesion. "They're trying to collapse the quantum corridor." Jake gritted his teeth, pushing through the pain of molecular disassembly. "Not if I have anything to say about it." Drawing on reserves of strength he didn't know he possessed, Jake reached out with his mind. He could feel the quantum forces at work, the delicate interplay of probabilities that allowed for faster-than-light travel. And with a burst of human intuition that defied alien logic, he began to improvise. Jake's consciousness expanded, touching the very edges of the quantum corridor. He began to play the probabilistic waves like a cosmic instrument, creating harmonies and counterpoints that stabilized their passage. Zara watched in awe as her human consort conducted an impossible symphony of quantum mechanics. "Jake," she breathed, "how are you doing this?" "I have no idea," Jake admitted through gritted teeth. "But it feels an awful lot like that time I had to land a shuttle with 3 blown engines and a failing life support system. You just go with your gut and hope for the best." As they neared the end of the quantum corridor, a blinding light filled their vision. The Starforge shuddered, reality itself seeming to hiccup around them. And then, with a final burst of speed, they erupted back into normal space. Before them hung a sight that defied description. The heart of infinity pulsed with every color imaginable and some that had no name in any language. It was a swirling vortex of pure creation, where matter and energy danced in endless patterns of birth and rebirth. "We made it," Zara said softly, her voice filled with wonder and relief. But their moment of triumph was short-lived. A massive shadow fell of the Starforge as a void-born dreadnought materialized behind them. Its hull writhed with tendrils of unlight, hungry to devour the very essence of creation before them. "Oh, come on," Jake groaned. "Don't these guys ever take a coffee break?" Zara's expression hardened with determination. "We've come too far to falter now, my love. Are you ready to take the final step?" Jake met her gaze, seeing in her star-filled eyes a same mix of fear and exhilaration he felt. "Ready as I'll ever be, Your Majesty. Let's rewrite the laws of the universe." Hand in hand, their forms already beginning to merge at a quantum level, Jake and Zara stepped towards the swirling heart of creation. Behind them, the void-born dreadnought loomed, its weapons powering up for a reality-shattering blast. The fate of all existence hung in the balance as human and Australian, joined in a love that transcended species and space, prepared to dive into the very source of all that was, is, and ever could be. As they took the plunge, Jake's last coherent thought was a wry smile at the absurdity of it all. From washed-up pilot to cosmic savior in the span of a month, it was going to make one hell of a story to tell in whatever reality emerged on the other side. The heart of infinity embraced them, and for a moment that stretched into eternity, Jake Wilson ceased to be just human, just as Zara ceased to be just Austrian. They became everything and nothing, the Alpha and the Omega, as the universe itself held its breath in anticipation of what would emerge from this impossible union. Singularity Symphony and the rebirth of reality. As Jake and Zara plunged into the heart of infinity, the very concept of individual existence began to unravel. They were no longer merely human and Austrian, but a swirling vortex of cosmic potential, their consciousnesses expanding to encompass entire galaxies. In this state of quantum superposition, Jake experienced the birth and death of countless universes. He was a quasar burning bright in the cosmic night, a supermassive black hole devouring stars, a spark of life emerging on a primordial world. Through it all, Zara's essence intertwined with his, their bond transcending the limitations of physical form. Whoa! Jake's thoughts echoed across dimensions. And I thought the light show at Neo Tokyo's quantum raves was impressive. Zara's amusement rippled through the fabric of spacetime. Focus, my love. We must find the prime harmonic, the fundamental frequency of creation itself. As they searched, Jake became aware of a discordant note in the cosmic symphony, the Voidborn's presence, a cancer eating away at the edges of reality. The dreadnought that had pursued them was more than just a ship. It was a conduit for entropy itself, seeking to unravel the very threads of existence. There, Zora's consciousness pulsed with excitement. "Do you feel it?" Jake did. Amidst the swirling chaos of creation, a single, perfect tone resonated. It was the heartbeat of the universe, the rhythm to which galaxies danced and stars were born. "Okay, we found it," Jake thought. "Now what? Do we just hum along?" "In a manner of speaking," Zara replied. "We must become one with the prime harmonic, amplify it, and use its power to rewrite the fundamental laws of reality. Only then can we seal the breach the Voidborn are exploiting." Jake's mind reeled at the implications. Rewrite reality. Are we even qualified for that kind of cosmic DIY? "Your human perspective is precisely what we need," Zara assured him. "The Australians have grown too rigid in our thinking over the millennia. Your species' adaptability, your capacity for imagination, these are the qualities that will allow us to reshape the universe in a way the Voidborn cannot predict or counter." As if sensing their intentions, the Voidborn dreadnought unleashed a barrage of entropy beams, that anti-light threatening to unravel the delicate quantum tapestry around them. Jake and Zara's merged consciousness recoiled from the assault, nearly losing their tenuous grasp on the prime harmonic. "Did we just?" Jake gasped, his human mind struggling to process what they'd done. "We did," Zara confirmed, her star-filled eyes wide with wonder. "We rewrote the operating system of reality itself." As the full implications of their actions sank in, the Starforge's communications array lit up. Messages poured in from across the galaxy, reports of void-born incursions being repelled, of dying stars reigniting, of new forms of life blossoming on worlds once thought barren. "Looks like we did good," Jake said with a grin, pulling Zara close. "So, Your Majesty, what's next on the cosmic agenda? Universal peace, an intergalactic block party?" Zara laughed, the sound like tinkling crystals that never failed to send a shiver down Jake's spine. "Oh, my dear Jake, our journey is far from over. We've given the universe the tools to defend itself, yes, but now we must teach it how to use them." As the Starforge's engines hummed to life, preparing to take them on the first leg of their new mission, Jake felt a sense of excitement and purpose he'd never known before. He was no longer just a washed-up pilot from Earth, nor merely the consort to an alien queen. He was Jake Wilson, co-architect of a new cosmic order, embarking on an endless adventure across a universe brimming with fresh possibilities. "Well then," he said, giving Zara a playful salute, "lead on, my queen. The universe isn't going to teach itself after all." As they set course for the unknown, the heart of infinity pulsed behind them, a testament to the power of love, creativity, and the indomitable human spirit. The cosmos would never be the same, and neither would they. In the endless sea of stars, a new legend was born, the tale of the human who loved an alien queen and together reshaped reality itself. It was a story that would be told and retold across countless worlds, a beacon of hope and wonder in a universe reborn. And somewhere, in a Neo-Tokyo dive bar, a group of jaded spacers raised their glasses to the stars, sensing that something fundamental had shifted in the grand cosmic dance. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning.